The All Blacks may have beaten Argentina 41-24, but the real question now is whether Scott Robertson is locking himself into a predictable and inflexible game plan ahead of the Springboks clash at Eden Park. Stephen Donald believes Razor has already shown his hand, and his comments on the aftermatch with Kirst and Beeve suggest that New Zealand's head coach will not veer far from the 15 that played in Buenos Aires. If you go and play the house down, as we saw last year when Wallace had the chance, then that instantly puts you in the box seat, Donald said, pointing to Simon Parker's shock inclusion as perhaps the only genuine gamble. But his bigger claim is that Robertson is already closing the door on experimentation, especially in the backline. The way they've juggled the squad and what you've seen in the last week and the week before, it's getting very clear what Razor thinks his top team is, Donald explained. We can pretty much bank what his top backline looks like now. That seems to be absolute. There seems to be no shuffling around that. Yes, there are changes this week, but that back division has stayed the same. The wings are the same, or Will Jordan, obviously the midfield, and even on the bench there is very little tinkering apart from the forced. The 2011 Rugby World Cup winner then doubled down, warning that injuries could trigger reshuffles that expose Robertson's reliance on the same names. Quinn's probably going to cover 12 and maybe 13, but more likely if there's an injury at 13, maybe Rico goes there, Will Jordan goes to the wing, Damien at fullback. That's the flexibility of having guys like Will Jordan, Geordie Barrett and Rieko who can all cover so many positions. Donald concluded with a damning assessment of New Zealand's depth problem. The backline very much looks settled now, and it's just that forward pack where there's a little bit of tinkering with. The forwards are still a little bit up in the air as far as selection goes, but definitely the backline, barring anything drastic, that will be your backline against the Boks. So here's the uncomfortable truth. Stephen Donald is effectively saying the All Blacks are becoming predictable at the very moment when unpredictability is needed most against South Africa's blitz defense. Razor might believe he's building stability, but is he really boxing himself into a corner? What do you think? Is Robertson wisely sticking to a settled backline, or is he walking the All Blacks straight into a tactical trap against the Springboks? Drop your thoughts below and don't forget to subscribe for more Kiwi Rugby updates.